Poor people who have dated rich people, what did you learn? I dated a tech CEO's daughter in college, never knowing who her family was until 3 months in. We met at a campus coffee shop where she worked part-time. I assumed she needed the money like me, another struggling student trying to make ends meet. She wore thrift store clothes, drove a beat-up Honda with dents in the side, and lived in a normal dorm room with a roommate. Her name was Emily, and I fell for her laugh first. We started hanging out after her shifts. Sometimes we'd split a sandwich because neither of us claimed to have enough money for a full meal. I was working 2 jobs between classes, and she'd always insist on studying together so I wouldn't have to choose between grades and sleep. One weekend, about 3 months in, she invited me to her family home for spring break and said it would save us both money instead of staying in the dorms. I packed my one decent shirt and jeans without holes. The drive took 2 hours. As we left the city, the houses got bigger. Then we turned onto a private road and pulled up to a gated entrance with actual security guards who knew her by name. My stomach dropped as we drove another half-mile up a winding driveway to what I can only describe as a modern castle, glass and steel perched on a hillside overlooking the ocean. What the hell, Emily? I could manage to say. She bit her lip, looking more nervous than I'd ever seen her. My dad started a software company when I was a kid. It kind of took off. Took off was an understatement. Why work at a coffee shop when your dad's worth billions? I asked, staring at the indoor pool. She looked away and said, people treat me differently when they know. Either they want something or they assume I'm a spoiled brat. I just wanted someone to like me for me. That first night was surreal. Their personal chef prepared a dinner that probably cost more than my monthly food budget. Emily's father, whose face I'd seen on magazine covers, sat at the head of the table. During dessert, he finally spoke directly to me. So, what's your 5-year plan? The question felt like a trap. I could have lied, but instead, I told him honestly that I was studying engineering, had $80,000 in student loans, and hoped to get a job that would let me pay them off before I was 40. The table went completely silent. Then her dad laughed, a genuine, unexpected laugh. Finally, someone tells me the truth, he said. Most people come in here with a rehearsed pitch. Still, I barely slept at night, wondering how I fit into any of this. Over the next few days, I learned the strange rules of dating someone rich. Emily knew exactly how much a gallon of milk cost because she made a point of buying her own groceries. She set a budget for herself and stuck to it religiously. She hated flying private and preferred the back row of commercial flights because no one looks at you there. Wealth to her wasn't freedom, it was a spotlight she never asked for. On our last night there, Emily's dad asked me to walk with him. I was convinced he was going to tell me I wasn't a good fit. Instead, he said, you remind me of me. He told me about growing up on food stamps and writing his first lines of code on a borrowed computer. He handed me an envelope. It's not a check, he said. Relax. Inside was a signed offer for a paid summer internship at his company, working under an engineer who wouldn't care who I was dating. He told me I could tear it up if I wanted, that it was mine only if I earned it. Emily was waiting inside, and she hugged me tightly. Her mom smiled and said, welcome to the family, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I still graduated with student loans and worked my ass off, but that summer changed everything, not because of the money, but because someone powerful chose not to shortcut my journey, but to respect it.